built up unit, the part that's standing up in the air is normally pointing to the west. You can see the cable running up the tank, and I hook my tractor to it, and I can raise the entire unit up to the ground, up off the ground. So any service that I have to do on the tower, I can do without climbing the tower, which is a huge benefit. I'm not crazy about climbing 80 feet up in the air to try to fix something that's broken, especially when the wind is howling. But, the turbine that's on top of it's got a 8-foot wingspan, so the propellers are 4 feet in length, and we've got 2 propellers. The replacements that I'm going to put on them, I'm hoping to put a 3-blade unit on there. The turbine is just wore out. It's been up in the air for 14 years. I've replaced the bearings a couple of times, but it finally, just like that generator I was talking about, it's got some shorter windings, and it's just, I took it to a machine shop and they measured it and they looked at it and they said, it's just wore out. I spent a good bit of time over the last months trying to find a replacement turbine that I could buy. It's a really unique turbine. This is a high voltage unit. It generates 240 volt 3-phase AC electricity, and nobody makes one like that. So I said the only option I have is to change the kind of turbine I have and then put in different wires, because if I was going to generate 24 volt DC, I need much bigger wires, great big wires that I'd run from the top of the tower all the way back into the house. One, it'd be horribly expensive, and 2, it's really difficult to trench up here because of all that rock I told you about earlier. So we decided to try to have the unit rebuilt, and the machine shop I talked with is going to be able to rebuild it. They're going to basically remanufacture it. They rewind the armature, put in new bearings. They have to do a bunch of machining. It's going to cost about $1,400, but I went to another machine shop down in Indiana. They actually came and picked it up, gave me an estimate, looked at it for a week, and came back and said they could do it for $2,200. So the local shop here in Madison's going to do it. And I just ordered a set of blades from Arizona. So what else? Any questions?
You show us a propeller somewhere?
Yep, I'll get that out of the garage in just a minute or two.
So the watts on the turbine?
It's a 1,000 watt unit, so 1 kW. And again, it's not a lot of power. You might have seen my neighbor has a wind turbine over here that's 10 kW. And that's a fairly small unit as well. Small wind is considered anything from 1 kW to 100 kW. So a 100 kilowatt unit is a pretty big unit. It's way more power than I need. Matter of fact, 10 kW would be more than I need.
Well, we've talked about a 100K unit on campus as a demonstration.
Sure, that would be great.
Power a dorm. You guys would wait to take your showers and stuff like that until the water was warmed up.
Right.
I'm sure we don't want that.
I have a question.
Sure.
I realize you're on your land here, but do you need to ask for some authorizations to put, like, for a county or municipality?
Very good question, and things have changed in the last decade or so regarding authorization to put up a tower like this.
Oh, even solar, I'm not sure.
Well, it really depends on your local building codes, and in some neighborhoods there are protective covenants,
Yes.
and people don't want you
I
to
know.
put up ugly solar panels, and you have to deal with that. So there are political implications. When we first put up this tower 14 years ago, we went to the county and said, do we need a building permit? And the guy asked us a couple of questions. Primarily, is it going to pump water? I said, well, not directly. It's generating electricity that will pump water. But it wasn't one of those old water pumper things with big propeller on the top. And he said, no, you don't need a building permit. Now, today, many communities have ordinances against wind towers, primarily against the big wind farms and utility grade machines, but they often don't distinguish between a small machine like this and a big megawatt machine like they have up by Brownsville or over by Dodgeville. There's a wind farm. Or if you travel south into Illinois on 39, you'll see just miles and miles of wind farm. It's huge. got probably 1,000 turbines down there, and they're all huge. They're sending power to Chicago. So you'd have to check your local ordinances. If we were to put a new tower up today, I think we'd have to get a variance from the local ordinance or you know, the restrictive zoning regarding, you know, wind turbines. So we'd have to contact our neighbors and ask that if they had a problem with us putting another tower up and
Yeah, build up your case.
doing all that. So. Other questions? Why don't I go get the propeller out and I can show you that. And like I said, I'm going to try to get some of you folks to give me a hand putting my backup generator back on a trailer, but that'll only take a few minutes.